We want us to be a kind of a sustainable model itself. I think, like say, many tourism destinations are in certain extremes, maybe the Costa Rica or many other kind of places are having a kind of a higher extremes towards sustainability, and some other destinations are in a very lower state by extreme. But we as a kind of up and coming, or rather kind of a mid-sized tourism destination, but in a very impactful in the world tourism map itself, want to have kind of our own model of sustainable tourism. So we are actually creating more and more community-based tourism ventures, as well as expanding tourism all over the country, because we know 2/3 of this country is still not been very much open to tourism, not because of anything, because of various other kind of accessibility factors, marketing attraction factors and all, especially if you think about North and East, is yet to be open. So I think sustainable initiatives are great approach to be there, because rather than changing a kind of already unsustainable tourism ventures into sustainability, to going into a destination with a sustainable model itself will be helping us to having more and more sustainable enforcement in those areas, as well as having a kind of a more inclusive sustainability for the community.
SMEs are the backbone of any economy, and in our tourism industry the same. And these, SMEs that we are going to recognize today have looked beyond their day-to-day business operations and set up some examples for others to follow for the future by taking into the consideration that broad sustainable goals that we aspire to achieve. Yeah. Any business, economic activity or anything that cannot sustain in the long run or destroys that ecology or culture, heritage, social, so these kind of broad goals that we have for the country, I think such activities we do not need. So therefore I need to specially comment on these SMEs who are going to reward today for their setting up of their examples in their operations in terms of sustainability in various aspects.
As already mentioned, since 2018, Biofin has been partnering with the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority to introduce the National Sustainable Tourism Certification Scheme for the accommodation sector, in line with the Global Sustainable Tourism Council guidelines, and extended support for destination certification and tour operations. In 2023, we supported the establishment of the Sustainable Tourism Office in SLTDA, and I vividly remember this because it was my first week after arriving in this beautiful nation, where I witnessed the opening of that office. And since then, the project expanded to include small and medium tourism service providers, recognizing that international certification criteria may impose standards that SMEs could not meet in the short term on their own. So last year, I participated in awarding certification to 100 individuals and companies, and I'm very thrilled to see the continuation and expanding of that initiative to another 100. Taking it forward, I hope that internationally recognized SME certification will enable SMEs to develop their businesses and sustainable practices so that in the future, they can meet the standards of conventional accommodation, tour operations, and other relevant certifications. Sustainable tourism is not just a buzzword. It is about being committed to nurturing an equilibrium among environmental preservation, social-cultural integrity, and economic prosperity, already mentioned by the Deputy Minister. Sri Lanka's nature, characterized by its lush rainforests and pristine beaches, is beautiful. But we must remember there are also fragile ecosystems that require our respect and stewardship. Our rich diversity is a cornerstone of Sri Lanka's tourism industry. But this relationship is interdependent and symbiotic. To optimize the potential of our tourism industry, we must have a long-term perspective to protect our natural habitats, so that our tourism practices do not harm our biodiversity.
The next certification is beyond the ocean. Congratulations, the Nomadic Empire travels private outbound residents. And the next certificate goes out to Old Folks Cafe.